Alright, we are back, and today we want to take a little bit closer look at the while loop and why we want to use it. As we've seen last time, while true do is just an endless loop. We'll repeat whatever you put in between forever and ever and ever, and that's probably one of the most common uses in this scenario if you want your program to run and check things or whatever. But there's also things, so we can do a equals this and b equals 10, and now we would say while a is smaller than b to, let's say we want to print a out, right? Now in order to do something, we will also need to increase a. So a equals a plus 1. So it takes a, whatever it is at the moment, adds 1, and that's the new a. So we print now. Why does it not print anything? Oh, while a is smaller than b. So see, now it prints that, and as you can see, as soon as it reaches 10, it will not print anymore because we said this, right? So we can fix that if we want the 10 to be printed as well by adding the equal sign. So if it's smaller or equal to b, run this. So at the end of this loop, we'll print this again. A would be 11, correct? Because it reaches 10, it says, okay, now a and b are equal. It will print a, will add 1, will exit the loop. Keep that in mind if you use these loops. So in this scenario, we would not need a while loop, right? Because we can just use a for loop, which is much more convenient because we don't have to do this for shenanigans, because the for loop will count it up for us already. Right, so then I hear why we need a while loop besides making endless loops. It's also very handy if you do not know how many iterations it takes to reach the state that you want, right? So we could say, instead of a equals a plus 1, we could say a is math.random 100. Let's do this and go away with this. Is it math.random? Yes. So let's make this 100. So this would now run until the random number is 100. So let's give it a little bit better odds. You see, now it will run very much only once, because the chance that we get a number that is lower than 100 is very small. If we do this, first time it was 4, then it was 16, 37. If we run it again, it takes that much. So as you can see, the while loop is very good in this scenario because we could not design a for loop that does that. Right? Cool. And the next one would be the repeat function. So that's very much the same, but now let's go back to our other scenario. So we have to type repeat and then a equals a plus 1, and then it's until, and there we have the condition a is smaller than or A is bigger than B. And then we print A. So what this does now is it just makes sure that at least one time this is run, right? So if we say repeat, no matter what. So let's put this a little bit more nicely to read. So even if A is already 81, it will still run this loop, because we say do this and then check. Where if we would have the while loop with the same while A is bigger, oh, in that case, while A is smaller than B, do and you see, it would do nothing because we already check first and then we do whatever is here. So as you can see, there's a scenario for both of these. So if you just want to make sure that something happens no matter what at least once, the repeat until function is the better choice. If you want to make sure that it does not happen if the criteria is already met, so you just want to skip right ahead it, and you use the while loop. And that's basically it. I mean, we already talked about, you know, we can nest while loops into each other and use if statements. I think the general concept is clear, right? It repeats something until a certain condition is met, and that's all there is to it. And we will see the while loop again in a later example there, or probably there, I don't know. I've not coded that one yet, but cool. So while loops done. Let's get to arrays.